Sing our opening hymn, which is in the white card, or it's also in the songbook, number 3, I believe it is, which is Let There Be Peace. Oh, thank you, Mother, Father, God, for bringing us all together today. As we come together, we open our hearts in gratitude for the space, the opportunity for friendship, and our connection in spirit. And with this, we say thank you. Thank you. Also, let's start with our little statements here that are call and response. Joyful teamwork is our way. Joyful teamwork is our way. Listening kindly is our path. Listening kindly is our path. We are in renewal together. We are in renewal together. Woo! Yay, everybody. All right. So today is our sing-along and share day. So if you have an idea of wanting to share a little spiritual moment for yourself, nice to keep it short and sweet, but because we do want to keep within our time limit, sort of. But anyway, we will be sharing, and what I want to do now is take a quick survey. How many, if you are planning to share, how many of you do not want to be recorded? Because we can arrange that. Is there anybody who does not care, to be recorded? Well, that's a good sign. Everybody wants to share and be online. Yay, woohoo. All right, so what is our first song then? Whoa, what? What?
Why don't we just ask how many people want to share today?
How many people want to share today too? Oh yeah, let's get some people sharing today. All right. Perfect, thank you. So what are we singing first?
Number 4.
Number 4.
Holy, holy, holy.
Holy, holy, holy. Yes,
Let's all sing.
let's all sing.
Holy, 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 Lord God Almighty. Early in the morning our song shall rise to thee. Holy, 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 merciful and
do we want to do our announcements now then? Okay, let's do some announcements. Well, welcome everybody once again to Lake Superior Interfaith Community Church. Announcements. I would like to start with, can somebody please bring forth the bowl? Thank you, Denise. And we're going to put it here for while we're speaking about it. But we need to share a sad issue, is that Carolyn Sheets, our dear beloved leader, is having some health issues. We need to give her our prayers and our support and our love and healing powers as much as we can. She went to the hospital Friday a couple of times due to a continuing and non-stopping nosebleed. So they thought they had it fixed, but it came back, and she went back on Saturday and was there for many, many hours, hoping that this would be the answer. And unfortunately, she's still in recovery mode. She's still working on trying to get everything under control. So we need to pray for dear Carolyn to take care of herself, and to have the rest of the universe take care of her for her too. And all of our prayers will be also helpful. So all prayers for Carolyn, and let's have a moment of silence just to think about all of the things that she needs from us right now. Are there any other prayer requests? We all have loved ones and friends and neighbors who need our attention. And so remember that if you don't put their name in the bowl physically, you do so intentionally, and that will be prayed for, and we will keep them in our thoughts and prayers throughout the service today. And let's give one more moment of silence for everyone who needs help and self-love and universe love today. Thanks, everyone. Awesome. I can feel it from here. All right, so again, we are a community church. We are a metaphysical spiritual center. We are a church in renewal, and we're growing together, and we're moving things around. I hope everybody likes it. Anyway, but there are other things that are still the same, such as make sure you put your phones on mute or do not disturb while we're in the service, so we can have, we don't have to worry about that. And then also, if you have missed anything or would like to rewatch anything, we do have our YouTube channel, so go ahead and go on YouTube, check out Lake Superior Interfaith Community Church, and you can see our past services. And this service will be recorded, and it will be out there in the future. That takes a few days, but we get it out there. So if you want to check out YouTube. We have other ways to keep in touch. Don't forget, we do have an email address. I didn't write it. I forgot my handwritten notes, so I'm like winging this, guys. So it's Lake Superior, what is it? What is it? Interfaith on 9th Street. Oh, thank you. And the number 9th Street at gmail.com. So it's interfaith on, and all slow letters, the number 9th Street at gmail.com. Also, you can send us a letter if you have that, or we have a suggestion box in the back. We also have the phone, so if you want to call and leave us a message, please do so. So those are ways to get in touch. Also, don't forget to check out our website. We try to keep it updated as possible. We're going to be looking into that and making sure everything's up to date. So any other announcements? Besides, I'm getting to that. Oh, Ginny, Virginia.
conferences with the board to make sure that what I'm asking for will be reasonable and helpful. But with your contacts in the city, this hopefully isn't going to be limited only to our individual community, but available for people who might want to have information or do research in areas related to what we do up here. We do a lot.
Yes, we do. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Virginia. We appreciate everything. All right, another thing I want to keep in mind is that we also have another person who is showing things off today. Michael over here, Michael Anderson, has a lovely art display. I saw pictures on Facebook. I haven't been there yet, sorry. But down at, does everyone remember Beaner's? It's called Wooso's now. So it's Wooso's Concert Cafe. Michael has had some of his more beautiful prints. I mean, he's got beautiful prints all the time, but some of his more beautiful ones displayed as an art gallery at Wooso's. So take advantage of the fact that we can enjoy our fellow parishioners' artwork and hard work and all of that good stuff down at Wooso's. Plus, get a cup of coffee or stay for a concert, right? So, Michael, thank you for sharing that you have that up there today. Thank you. What are the dates?
The month of January.
The month of January.
I've got 18 images up. Most of them are at least 16 by 24. Some of them bigger. I guess we're passing one of them around. But I'm really, really, really excited about it.
Yes.
So I don't promote myself much.
And it's time to change that.
Well, because Sue Paul and I were there, and they're great. It's very worthwhile.
Oh, yeah. What I saw on Facebook was just absolutely amazing. Well, it used to be Beaner's. It's Wooso's now. It's out in West Duluth.
Across from the West Theater, kind of, and by the Xena City Bookstore, so it's definitely worth going to.
Yes, Central Avenue.
By the Super One.
Out by Super One out in West Duluth. Yeah, so if you get off the freeway on Central Avenue, then you just drive down. You go eastward, Duluth, no direction. And it's a very cool little place, and I haven't been there for a while, so I can't wait to go. Any other announcements that I'm forgetting? Don't forget, we have food today. So don't forget, we have food and snacks, and we have coffee and water for tea, and so join us for communion at that point. All right, anything else? Am I forgetting anything? Okay, are we gonna sing another song, and then we're gonna have Barbara do a healing meditation for us.
Oh, what a beautiful morning.
Oh, what a beautiful morning.
All right, you all know this song, I'm sure. There's a bright golden haze on the meadow.
There's a bright golden haze on the meadow. The corner is as high as an elephant's eye, and it looks like it's climbing clear up to the sky. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I
Okay, so are you ready to, do you want an introductory song to your meditation? Okay. Barbara's going to lead us into a meditation, and that will open us up for her channeling as well. I'm looking forward to that.
So let's begin with some deep breaths. And as you breathe in the light. And as you exhale any blocks, any doubts, any thoughts that diminish. And as you breathe in your connection to the one, to the all that is. Beginning at the top of your head, feel a warm, honey, yellow light flowing down through your head and your brain, relaxing your facial muscles, moving down your neck and your shoulders. Feel them relax as that beautiful golden light continues to flow down your arms, into your hands. And with every breath, you fill up your torso with this golden light that's connecting you to the oneness. And feel that golden light flow into your pelvis, into your thighs. Feel it flow down your knees and into your calves, down through your feet, where it flows down to the center of Mother Earth herself. We will command that only the most divine light shine down upon you at this time, and the greatest good be present here. We are so excited to be with you today. It is such an honor and a pleasure to be able to have this kind of communication with you. And today we want to talk about the genesis of your church. We want to talk about how this space has been prepared for many, many, many years to be a portal of love, to be an opening where those on the other side of the veil, who are no longer fooled into thinking they are not infinite beings, can reach through and communicate, can still be a part of this congregation. And so we want to make our presence known to you. And there's quite a large gathering, and every single Sunday you have the spirits of those who have come before you in this church. You have also quite a host of angels that surround you and uphold you and support you and love you. Of course, Barbara brings the party with Albert Einstein and an entire group of individuals who are here working with you in the afterlife. And why are you here? Why has this foundation been set for decades? It's because right now the world needs what you have. You might get up in a day You might be irritated or sad. You might be distressed at how you see the world. You might be not very inspired to get out of bed. There are going to be days like that, dear humans, that you are going to have. But we have come here to uplift you with the good news that you are not a finite being. You are an eternal and internal being, that once you shed your physical body, the sky is literally the limit to what you can do, to where you can travel, to how you can continue to assist this dear, beautiful planet, the Mother Earth, with her transformation and her evolution. And that's where you are right now. So if you do rise in a day and you're feeling less than stellar or depressed, or the world seems like a terrible place, or any of those things, we want you to take a huge breath in and remember who you really are. Remember everything that you have been through is all about your spiritual awakening. Remember that you have come here right now. It's no accident that you were born into this time to give the gifts that you have to the world that needs so much love right now. The world needs so much of what you have amongst you. So as the old dies away, remember what's dying. Remember what's being born. So what's dying is that old way of thinking that you're not enough, that you're a sinner, that in some way you're finite and small. That's all dying. What's rising and what's being born is a new humanity. And it's being born within each and every one of you. And then collectively, here together in this beautiful, sturdy little community that you have, you are setting the stage here for a growth that you have been anticipating for some time. So don't be disheartened. Continue to open up your hearts to prayer. Continue to vision your doors being open and the community coming in, and you going out into the community. And you're going to find, as this year progresses, there's going to be opportunities that you create for yourselves as a community to reach the greater community, and that you find coming to your doors to be a part of this growing sense of love and compassion that you have here. It's so very needed right now. And we want to say that this whole contingent of those of us, and there's many of us who have been here as a part of growing this church through the many, many, many years that you have been coalescing to be this community. We are here. And back then, back in that day, when we were coming together and we were realizing that there is something much greater here than meets the eye. There is something that we want to explore. And remember, at that time, this was not a very popular idea. But we persevered, and we kept together, and we pulled together from this love that we had, and from remembering that we are bigger and we are eternal. And now, how miraculous is it that we can begin this new chapter from the other side? That we can be here still with you. And we want to tell you that those of you who have walked on are here too. And when you walk on, you will be here too. So there's nowhere really to go but here and now. So always remember the I am of who you are, the I am of the power that you have within you. And when you're feeling distressed, take those breaths, stop, remember eternity that goes on and how you don't want to waste one moment while you're here in this precious sacred flesh to be these agents of change, to become these new human beings who are going to make decisions for the good of all out of compassion and learn how to live as one. So this is our mission together. We are here. Never forget us. We will never forget you. And we're honored again and so very pleased to be able to speak to you directly in this way. Namaste. Another song?
Another song.
Let's have another song.
Oh, that was awesome. Thank you so much, Barbara.
You bet. Let's do Imagine.
Oh, yes. This is my favorite song. This is my favorite song. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy was perfect. I love that song. So now it's time to do a little sharing, and I'm going to share first because I'm here. What a lovely, lovely message from your channeling today. It was so awesome. I was sitting there feeling like this room is packed. I mean, it is packed, but I mean, it's even packed more. So, oh, the love and the joy and the imagine. Now, my sharing story has to do with singing, which I don't talk about much because I don't have much of a voice, but you know, I do like to sing, and I have a friend. Well, we won't talk about him. Anyway, he had a setup in his house, and he had the whole thing. I mean, he had speakers, he had surround sound, he had the microphones, he had the whole karaoke thing set up on his TV and the whole 9 yards. And so when I would visit him, he would have the karaoke going. We'd sing back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I came upon this song, and I thought, yeah, I like that song. I can sing that song. It's within my vocal range. I mean, I have a low voice, and it's all my own damn fault, and I know, okay. But it was within my range, and I could sing it. So I did, you know. I didn't think much of it. On a trip to Mexico a few years back, we were at a bar in Mexico, the town where my friend had a house, and they did karaoke, and it was my turn to sing. So I sang Imagine. And because I could, you know, and it was easy. And they, you know, everyone in the bar stood up. They lit their lighters. They were singing with me. I felt like I was the goddess of this whole place. I was like, oh my God. And they didn't do that for anybody else. It was just when I sang this song. I was like, I'm getting goosebumps feeling it right now, you know? It's just like, oh my gosh. A few years later, I went back to Mexico and visited my friend, and we went to a different bar, and I sang Imagine again. Same thing. I was like, everyone in the bar, I was trying to light my flashlight on my phone, and I was having issues with it, so I said, screw it. So I just sang, and I just, you know, and these people are waving their flashlights, or their phone flashlights, and they're waving their singing with me. So I love this song. I mean, it fills me, you know, and I remember the day I was sitting in the school cafeteria, and I was studying for a test. It was quiet because it wasn't lunchtime or anything. It was just a nice, quiet time to study. And the music was playing because the people in the kitchen were working on lunch or dinner or whatever. And it was at that moment that I found out that John Lennon died. And I don't know what my connection is with that, or with John Lennon, or why, but I started bawling at that moment. And it was so profound. I mean, and I have a connection there somehow, some way, some weird spiritual, emotional, metaphysical connection. And it chills me every time I sing this song, and it makes me thrilled to know that I am connected with the universe. Because John's up there somewhere. He's looking down and saying, yeah, I'm so glad people are singing my song. So that is my little share for today. And does anybody else want to share at this moment? Or do we want to sing another song? Oh, thank you, Laura. Laura is going to share.
Well, good morning. Okay, I think I'm going to stand up. No, I'm not. Oh, rotate. Rotate, don't stand taller. Rotate. So I'm Laura Whitney, and turns out I've been coming to this church sometime in the early 80s. I don't exactly remember when, but I'm 62 now, and maybe it's been 40 years, maybe, something like that. So I had a little cancer thing for a while, which I had a particular prayer during, and so I'm going to just share that so that I could kind of get through that. And then the point was to have vibrant health and energy so that I may do God's will during treatment and post-treatment, whatever that is. And I wanted to be peaceful when I had my treatments because I just figured everything worked better that way. So my focus was on being a more peaceful person, and I'm maybe not am known as a particularly peaceful person. So that was my task, to become more peaceful. And then I've been able to, the whole cancer thing ended up giving me kind of the gift of time because I didn't return to work. And so now I'm doing some practices which I'm going to share. And there are a couple little things. And this is a mention of an app, so sorry if this isn't appropriate, but I think it's a helpful app and you can do it for free, so I'm going to just tell you what it is. It's called My Miracle Morning, and you do these little simple practices, and I bought some little book, and part of my little peaceful practice is actually to improve my most awful handwriting so that perhaps some other people might be able to read it, and even myself. But that was born of like totally pressured, academic, and I'm going to get this down, and I'm going to not miss a word. And I did that throughout my whole professional career. So this is my part of my peaceful practice, is to write slowly and in that thing called cursive, that beautiful flowing thing where you form the letters and they're all round and they look good. So I've been doing that. So this little thing called My Miracle Morning, it has a couple of different practices. One is silence and meditation. The other is that you write, but he calls it scribing, which I kind of like. And then you note 3 things that you're grateful for. And then you note 3 goals for the day. And then there's a little affirmation that you make for yourself, which you write down each day. And then you visualize that affirmation. And then you do some reading. Okay, well, my current reading, it's this little book called God Calling, which is channeled by 2 women in England. And it's a little reading for each day, and I'll read that at the end. So I read that. And then that's where I practice my handwriting, and I just write down what the little message is in my little book and take the time to write it correctly. And that's very nice. And then it kind of sinks in a little more. And then the other thing that you do is you exercise. So, which I count anything that involves stretching or whatever. Whatever. Let's just say my interpretations are liberal of completing the exercises. But what's nice is it's a little bit of accountability. You can do it in a short version or a long version, and if you want, there's extra kind of help on the app thing. So, and the result is I am more peaceful, which is, I really do think that's the whole point, okay, of everything. So, today's little reading from this God Calling, and today's January 15th, right, is relax. Relax, do not get tense, have no fear. All is for the best. How can you fear change when your life is hid with me in God, who changeth not, and I am the same yesterday, today, and forever? You must learn poise, soul balance, and poise in a vacillating, changing world. Claim my power, the same power with which I cast out devils is yours today. Use it. If not, I withdraw it. Use it ceaselessly. You cannot ask too much. Never think you are too busy. As long as you get back to me and replenish after each task, no work can be too much. My joy I give you. Live in it, bathe your spirit in it, reflect it. So, thank you. And also, this is kind of cool, and I love the singing. I love the singing. Thank you.
Walter, would you like to speak about a little short synopsis of a spiritual event for you?
Walt Zipla, I've been coming here since about 75. At that time, I got out of the service in 72, and the big question was, do we live after we die? Because if we don't, well, religion is bunk, and so what? And I came across 3 books at that time, one by Raymond Moody, Life After Life, by people that had near-death experiences, The Presence of Other Worlds by Wilson Van Dusen, who was the head of a mental institution in Loma Linda, California, that the people that were schizophrenic that heard voices, he communicated with those spirits through the person, instead of just thinking this is bogus, and learned a lot of things. And also Journeys Out of the Body by Robert Monroe. And the end of Robert Monroe's book was, all this isn't, what he was saying of his experiences with hemisphere synchronization and traveling out of the body, and isn't going to mean anything to you unless you have one of these experiences. About 2 years, I kept trying everything I could. And when I was up in Toronto, one night I had one of these, or it was in the morning. I woke up outside of my body, and this spirit standing there with a guitar in his hand, and I'm looking at myself snoring, and I'm going, and he says, Walt, you should sing more. And I woke up, and then I was back in my body, and I was like, oh. A little bit later, I had another one where I noticed the sun. We'd worked all night long because I was working with a guy who was nocturnal. And so the sun had just come up. I was laying in bed, and all of a sudden, I'm hearing like 1,000 million leaves blowing down the street. And then I'm vibrating. And then I get really hot for a second or two. And then I get really cold for a second or two. And then I just have this sensation I'm moving, and I'm watching all these colors in front of me. And I go, oh, where should I go? I'm doing this. Where should I go? Oh, I'll go back where I grew up. And zook! From Toronto, I'm out in Lakeside, where I grew up, but my folks had moved out of the house, lived on the Amdicon, and I'm walking around there, and the sun isn't up there yet, because of course and I'm thinking, holy moly, I'm here like I think I am. Wow, I can put my hand through the garage wall. And as soon as that went a little bit, I guess I just, it's like, okay, that's enough for today, Walt. And whoop, I'm back in my bed in Toronto, and I'm really, whereas before I was completely rested, all of a sudden I'm needing to really breathe a lot. That must have slowed down my heart and my breathing tremendously. And up there then, at that time, I got a hold of a couple other books by, you're familiar with my favorite author, Swedenborg. And I'd read those and I'd go, wow, there's something in here, but I just don't get it. And then I there was a speaker up there, the Reverend Willard Fuller, who was a healer. And I had a chance in '99 to take classes with him and finally ordained down in Kansas City. And I brought one of these books down there with me, and he liked Swedenborg also, just like Reverend Hutchinson used to. And and he did the ordination thing and put his hands on me, and didn't really feel anything at the time. But when I'm driving back, I drive for a ways out of Kansas, it's at night, and I stop to drink coffee so I can make it all the way. And I bring that book in there with me. And all of a sudden, it's like I realized God opened up this whole other part of my mind to recognize the deep spiritual meaning that is that is encoded into the Bible. You have to approach, and I've learned since then, you have to approach the Bible as being the Word of God and approach it with sincerity and really that there is something here. And it has continued now for 23 years that I've just been, and in that time then I've had all kinds of other experiences, both seeing things that are in hell, seeing things that are in heaven, people that I knew on this, just recently, someone that I had many conversations with. He was a lawyer, but he would always put down God or spiritual, or and he's been dead about 2 years now. And I saw him, and he was just like collapsed and pale. And though I touched him, he just was there like lifeless. I've had, like I say, other ones of other people. I remember taking, or things like this are given to you. You can't take and, you know, if you're trying to see these things, well then it could be bogus. You could just be your imagination. Although if it's happening in your dreams, you don't have too much control over that. I've had one where I was brought to a place where it was all barren and brown, and I went over this bridge, but on the bridge there were these posts sticking up, and there were heads on those posts. Not a good place, but I never had any fear. I always felt like I was being protected, and I was just shown these things. Yeah, and for the most part, where I'm studying now, I've gone through these books 4 times. It's 3 million words, big pack of books. And what it's talking about is the Christian church and how it split a long time ago into the group that take and have separated faith from charity or love, in that they say that all you got to do is believe this and you're saved. Well, that's bogus, you know. And the other group usurp God's power and say, oh, we can forgive you of your sins. Both those things ended any kind of real pure communication with God's truth. And that's why at that time in the 1757 was when the apocalypse, which is not a war, it means revelation, that this revelation came through Swedenborg at that time, because things had just gotten so corrupt, people couldn't learn the true things in the Bible anymore. Or it was difficult, let me put it that way. Or it was just always looking at the word as the literal meanings of things, because that's how we all relate here. But the spiritual meaning is encoded in there. To get the spiritual meaning, you have to divorce people, places, and things, because all of those are like a language, a divine language that encode or have within them mean a spiritual idea. And it's really helped me a lot in my dreams, because our dreams include a lot of that, that same kind of language. You know, houses and buildings mean things, trees mean things, water means things, all this stuff. It all has a spiritual language to it. And I could go on and on, but I better shut up. Thank you.
We have so many more songs we want to sing.
Yes, we do. But
It's getting close, but I mean, heck, we can still sing.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's sing I Can See Clearly Now.
I can see clearly now. Oh, that's perfect. Wow, everything is in perfect time.
I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way.
Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. Oh, it's gonna be right.
sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, there's nothing but blue skies. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that hang. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. One more time. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day.
Woo! Yeah! Woo! Oh, my. Oh, wow! Woo! Synchronicity and metaphysical spiritual growth. There we go. Yes. We do need to have a little community thing going on here. Someone want to grab the basket and take up some contributions to this lovely, beautiful, bright, sunny day? Even if it's not bright and sunny, we got yellow, bright light in here. So, whoops, we don't need that in there. All right. Bright, bright, sunshiny day. Okay. Now, we are gathering all of these song lyrics, and we are going to put them in little folders. So if you want to put them, do we want to put these in the pockets in the seats in front of us? Okay, we'll collect them up later, but we are going to make little song books. Thank you. Hi, Denise. I'm so glad to see you. Oh. I don't know. All right. What do we want to say here? Hallelujah. 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 Rub-dub-dub, thanks for the mud. Thanks for the what? Money. The mud. Anyway, divine life through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, all that I share, and all that I receive. Thank you. Thank you. Namaste, everybody. Yes. One more song?
Church affirmation.
Oh, church affirmation.
Maybe we should just do
The last one? All right. You guys have to keep me on track. All right, so the church affirmation is found on the white card. Let's all stand up and say it out loud. We totally accept the belief that God is in charge of the affairs and direction of Lake Superior Interfaith Community Church. We know that as our thoughts of trust and joyful anticipation join in harmony with the thoughts of all members of this fellowship, we attract the right ministerial leadership to our spiritual community. And what are we? We are grateful. Woo! Let us get in our little circle here, which will be made easier since the pews are all moved around now. We're going to sing our closing hymn. Does anybody have do you want to have a benediction you'd like to say at all? Just a little. Oh, this makes it a lot easier, doesn't it?
So as we go out into the world, take a deep breath, breathe in that love, exhale that love, become that love, and we are grateful. Amen.